Well, hello and welcome back to the trade desk. We're slowly getting to the business end of the trade period. I'm Ayrton Woolley, joined again by Sam McClure and Kane Cornes. Sam, good to see you. It's all about Jeremy Cameron today. The Cats have finally put forward an offer, 2 first-round picks. Firstly, what do we think about that offer to GWS?
Well, it's an interesting one. I know, Kane, you weren't here on Friday, but Ed and I were talking about the fact that this is a team that, since 2015, has had 11 first-round draft picks come through the door. Now, that's because when guys walk out, they keep getting first-round picks back. You know, think of the likes of Dylan Shield, of Adam Treloar, just to name a couple over the last 5 or 6 years. Jeremy Cameron is clearly, to them, worth much more than draft picks that in 2 years' time, if they can't make the team, end up leading, just like Jai Caldwell's trying to do. This is a guy, Kane, that's kicked 427 goals. At best, they're losing 2.5 goals a game. I mean, or at worst, I should say, that's what he's averaging. At best, they're losing a guy that's capable of kicking 70 or 80 goals in a season, even in a shortened season. So you can understand, and we believe, I think, Ed and Jake Noel from The Age, the chief football writer, reporting now that GWS have, in fact, knocked back that offer of 2 first-round picks. Cornesy.
Not a great piece of relationship building between the Giants and Geelong at the moment, I don't think. And when you look at what Tim Kelly went for last year from Geelong to West Coast, it's essentially got to be more than that, I would think, and that's what the Giants would be saying. They will rightly reject that. Look, it's not a bad starting point from Geelong, but this is a genuine trade scenario, and Jeremy Cameron's worth a lot more than those 2 picks. It's not as if they're top 10 picks either. They're outside the top 10, those 2 picks. So I can understand them knocking that back. I'd expect this one to go right down to the wire and the Giants to really dig in, and I completely support their stand on this.
But, Causey, where's it going to finish? I mean, I know that's the million-dollar question, but the Giants clearly don't want picks. The Cats have said they don't want to give up the players that the Giants are interested in. I mean, I don't think any of the 3 of us, not to speak on behalf of everyone, but think that this is going to go to the point where he walks in the pre-season draft, a little bit like Jack Martin did to Carlton. But who blinks first, Cornesy?
Well, that's the thing. I think Geelong are desperate to get this done. I think they weren't expecting the Giants to match. The deal was that good. I don't think they thought the Giants would match. I think they were a little bit shocked by that. And with the age demographic where Geelong are at, they have to get this done. They've gone with Higgins, we think, and Isaac Smith is committed, and now Jeremy Cameron. So they're all in on this. They're the team that needs to make this happen. So if you're asking me who's going to blink first, I think it'll be Geelong. But are the Giants going to get everything they're satisfied with? Absolutely not, because Geelong have said they're not going to give up a young player like Parfitt, and that's clearly what the Giants want.
Well, you mentioned there the pre-season draft. Sam, his manager, Alex McDonald, has been on radio a short time ago. He did mention that is a strong possibility.
Any chance that he will stay at the Giants if Geelong can't get the deal done and Giants don't get the deal done, that he'd play for the Giants in 2021?
No.
Which means the pre-season draft is an option if they don't get the deal done?
Yes, it could be. We're very confident it won't get to that, Dwayne. You'd hope that with the goodwill between Jason McCartney and Stephen Wells, that they'd be able to broker a deal that satisfies all the parties.
I do agree with you, Sam. I feel like the pre-season draft is unlikely. I've just got a question for you, Kane, in regards to the Giants and I guess their dealing so far. They got the Jesse Hogan deal done very early on in a pick, I think it was pick 54, they got that deal done. It seemed to be signalling that they were trying to replace Jeremy Cameron early on. A good piece of business on the surface, but by doing it early, have they weakened their position at all in basically saying that we've already got his replacement? They can't really keep him now?
Yeah, I think we're all of the understanding that he won't be a Giants player next year, and he'll be at Geelong. And that they do have the option of playing Jesse Hogan back. They got him for a steal, and his contract is incentive based. So I think that was a risk worth taking. But I think we're all of the understanding. It's Monday right now, Monday afternoon. There's 3 and a bit days left in this trade period, so they will get it done. Jeremy Cameron will be playing for Geelong next year, but it's just a matter of how much the Giants can clean up.
The other deal that's holding up quite a few deals at the moment, we're led to believe, is the Adam Saad deal. Of course, Essendon and Carlton haggling over what the Blues might get back. We believe pick 8 is on the table, Sam.
Yep.
Why do Carlton need a future second-round pick back? Because that, for Essendon, given where they're at, could be quite a high draft pick next year.
I think that's a really poor deal if you're an Essendon fan. Yeah, it was Sam Edmund, I think, on SEN today reporting that it was a haggle over, you're right. So pick 8 on the table. The Blues were asking for a future second back. And I think Essendon, according to Sam's report, was offering their current 4th round pick back. What Essendon were offering, to me, seems a lot more palatable. I mean, this is a guy Cornesy that they've offered 5 years to at really good money. He's finished top 3 in the best and fairest 3 of the last 4 years. So they're getting a really good player through the door. Pick 8's going to slide. I think they're probably asking for a bit much, the Blues.
Yeah, probably. And look, I think for Essendon as well, like they've turned a second-round draft pick into a top 10 pick, probably, with the way we think it's going to go. So I think the Bombers should be desperate to get this done because there's so much more left for Essendon to achieve in the next 3 and a bit days. So if I was the Bombers, I wouldn't be playing too hard with this. I'd look to get it done. You may not get absolutely everything you want, but there's no way Sart's playing for the Bombers next year. So get it done, then move on to Dunkley, move on to Caldwell, and in the end, you can salvage something pretty reasonable from what was looking like a pretty dire situation at the Bombers a month ago.
And the other one with that, Ayrton, is that it looks like there's a bit of a stalemate between the Giants and Essendon over Jai Caldwell. I mean, this is a guy that was pick 11 2 years ago. He's only played 11 games. He hasn't been able to break into the team the way that he would have liked to, but we know they've got a star-studded midfield and half-back line, the Giants. I think a future second-round pick's drastically unders, and you can understand why the Giants are holding firm.
I agree, Sam. I guess Essendon's argument at the moment is that Jackson Haitley, who's hoping to get to Adelaide at the moment, the offer there is also a second-round or future second-round pick, and they believe it's a commensurate offer. But if we're to believe the noises out of the Giants, Jai Caldwell has come on in leaps and bounds in recent times, so that'll be one to watch. Just on the Bombers, their key forward needs have been stark. Of course, no Joe Danaher. We've heard today links possibly for Tom McDonald. How do you see that fit, Kane? Do you think he's the type of player that could help Essendon moving forward?
Yeah, I think Matty Lloyd said today he's got pretty good information out of the Bombers that won't happen. I think it's more likely that will be Peter Wright. Now, look, I think that is, it's a risk worth taking with Peter Wright. He's not going to cost you much at all. In fact, the Gold Coast may even pay some of his salary. So he may be a bit of a stopgap for you or a bit of a project for the next couple of years. Maybe they can get one more season out of Hooker if he gets himself super fit forward and Hurley back, and then you go to the draft this year with the picks that you've got and try and target a long-term replacement, or you put a strategy in place where you go and get a Ben King over from Gold Coast eventually, and you start those discussions with him now. So I think the Bombers, what they'll be doing is just trying to work out the short-term area for their key positions and then look to the draft or to future trades to solve the long-term issues forward of the ball.
And we sat here last week and we said that the Saints weren't done. It didn't look like they were done. Jake Niall also reporting in The Age this afternoon, Monday afternoon as we're speaking, that Jack Higgins has officially requested a trade from the Tigers to the Saints. They're getting everyone they want to, it seems, Cornesy.
Well, they're good, aren't they? They've really become a destination club. A lot of that has to do with Brett Ratton and the relationships that he has built. Interesting, Blair Hartley, list manager of Richmond, said that Higgins wouldn't be going anywhere. So I love it how clubs talk tough. It makes me laugh. You have a recording of everything clubs say at this time of the year, and then a week later their tune completely changes. Same with Bulldogs and Dunkley. Same with Aliir at Sydney. I wouldn't be surprised if he still goes.
Come on, Cords. You just mentioned the Crows. I know you want to. That's who you were really talking about.
It's not a time for clubs to be telling truths, and it does make me laugh.
Yeah, it's interesting though. I mean, Blair Hartley is one of the best going around, and also doesn't like doing interviews, likes staying well under the radar. But I'm with Cornsey. He said that last week, and yet now he's requested a trade. Usually they get where they want to go, Ayrton and Cornsey, so we'll watch that one. But I think the Saints have already told the Tigers that it won't be for a first-round draft pick, and he was a first-round pick only a few years ago and has proven, despite his health concerns, which he's got through now, which we're all thankful for, that he's a really good player.
Well, I believe future second-round pick possibly on the table for Jack Higgins. So
it seems a bit unders for the Saints if they're going to push up, and I mean,
could be a pick in the 30s.
That could be a late second-round pick. That seems unders for a guy that was pick 17 3 years ago, I think.
Well, thanks again for your time, gents. Hopefully back tomorrow with some trades. We'll see you at the trade desk.
We need the phone to ring with trades.